13 flight controllers. Listen up. Give me a go, no go for launch. Booster.
Go.
Retro.
Go.
Vital.
We go fly.
Guidance.
Guidance go.
Procedures.
Go.
Inco.
Go.
FAO.
We are go.
Capcom.
We're go flight.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's entertainment.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live event here with my good friends Hughesman and everything HVACR. Hope everyone's doing great out there. I'm on call.
What's up, guys?
And so I didn't post the thing real early in time, but you know, it's all good, I hope. So so you guys have been Ryan's on call too. You haven't had much going on?
No, a couple of calls, just one back on Tuesday, and then a water issue in Canton, Ohio today. Nothing crazy. Expansion tank on a hot water tank was leaking, so I just shut everything down and got a list of what I'm going to need for early this week, and we'll go back.
You don't need no stinking expansion tank. Off with its head. I've had multiple calls through the week. I had a grocery store that called in the morning hours, and we're looking at it, and the discharge looked low, and the everything looked bad, and I'm like, uh-oh, that's a massive leak. So I double checked with the guy that, you know, I usually check with him first to see if it's worth going. Otherwise, if he thinks I can get out of it, I'll have him make that decision. Otherwise, I might get in trouble for skipping out. And I was right. I get up there and massive leak, about 200 pounds of refrigerant lost. The squishy clamps vibrated into the copper, and it was, I think, 1 1/8 inch discharge line. Freaking all over the freaking place. And then as I'm walking in the store to do other checks, it's going off as I'm walking in the door. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. So I left at like 5:45 in the morning and got home at 5:30 that night because I stayed. Guy's like, you kind of spent a little time here. I'm like, I ain't much for callbacks. I said, you had one rack down and the other one wasn't working very good, and it was low too. And I said, it had dirty coil. It had a pinhole leak in the U-joint. And I take pictures, and I show them the pictures. I think they like that because they see it. And
sure,
you know, I think it comes in handy.
Do it. You might as well do it right the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey,
Somebody's
look at
gonna
this.
Spend time on it at some point, regardless.
That's the way I kind of look at it. So I was like, you know, here you go. And then the other one was low also, and that leak, one of the other guys ended up going back, put another part on, so he ended up finding that leak. And then the last one, what did I have to do there? Well, the one this morning, I was able to just shut that compressor off. It was having issues with proof switch, which they can have either a contactor switch, or it could be like an amp current sensing coil. Not sure what it had, so it basically, I was able to shut that one off and let the other 3 compressors deal with it, so it worked out fairly okay. So can't complain. Am I a little stuttery? Looks like I'm
what's that?
I look like I'm a little stuttery. I think my computer might be having a little bit of an issue there with that green screen.
Everything looks good here. I'm watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, like I'm a little bit jiggity there, little jiggity, kind of like you can slide my arm, go dink, 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 dink. So yeah. Oh, anyhow, but yeah, that's.
I caught that video, your interview with Zach.
Yes, I caught some of
it. It was awesome. Very nice.
I think it went pretty good. We didn't have anything in particular we was going to do, so I was like, yeah, screw it, you know.
No, I enjoyed it. Yeah,
we kind of talked about doing another thing too. I don't know what exactly we might go over. Maybe we'll do a religious hour or something. So somebody was saying something about a testimonial or something like that, or I don't know, whatever. So we'll do whatever. So
yeah, he's a very good interviewer.
Yeah, he definitely does it more professional than I do.
He is. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. He's good.
Very nice.
Yep. I mean, he is doing it full time, so I mean, definitely puts time into it and has, you know, everything set up and ready to go. So, unlike me, he sits there and puts it up 5 minutes beforehand. Hey, here we go. You all want to come? So here we go. So yeah, it's all good though. But that's what my weekend's been and week. So I'm glad to be done. Tomorrow morning I'll be finished for, I think, maybe a month or something. You're supposed to be like every 4 to 6 weeks somewhere in that ballpark, but it's kind of been a little hectic, I think. So I don't know. I might post some of that video on my YouTube or Facebook page, because I kind of have a dictatorship over who's in there, and that way I know it's nobody from around here. So I can, I've never gotten 100% the yes or no on that. I never asked, so I kind of am hesitant on showing anything at the grocery store, but it's pretty good. So I found me a new channel I kind of like too. He's up and growing. Let me go here to who it was. He does a lot of the stuff that I'm getting into, so I've been looking through some of his videos, and they're really good because he's laying out how the rack works and stuff like that, and it I think is pretty useful. Not as many people do it, so it's kind of harder to find information on it. Let me see if I can find it. Refrigeration Confidential. So if you guys are into some of the bigger stuff, check out Refrigeration Confidential. He's got 500.
I've seen him. Yeah,
I seen you commented on a couple of them. So yeah, he's got 581 subscribers.
Yeah,
he deserves a lot more than that.
He's got some good. It's mostly rack refrigeration, but I don't see a whole lot of that stuff, so I like kind of watching some of that and asking questions and just being like, what is that?
That's what I'm doing right now. So for me,
helps you.
Yeah, it helps me a lot because I know a lot of it, but not all of it. And when I'm talking to my guy that I usually rely on, you really don't want to bombard him with a bunch of other stuff when you've already got your own problem to go with. So it kind of works out good. And he's pointing out things that are basics to him, but for me, it's like, oh, I didn't know about that check valve on the oil separator. It has a pressure differential there. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know about that check valve. I know how it works. I've seen them tore apart, but it was like a long time ago that I've seen them tore apart. So, by all means, it's like, hey, that's great. Cause you just don't have that many around here. Like all the grocery stores, we've got all the local ones. So prior to coming here, you would have got no experience because there is no other grocery stores to get. So, it's just, you aren't going to get that experience unless you are from somewhere else. So, yeah,
you said Refrigeration Confidential.
Yep, and he's pretty creative with his videos and stuff. He throws in drops and things like that, and
check that out.
Yeah, he really does a good job. It's right to the point. I've watched 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, nice. I think it's been really good.
Better than half of that.
Yeah,
the video quality at least.
Yeah, he's kind of like, I think he's changing his voice a little bit. I don't know if he's trying to hide.
Yeah, it does sound different.
A little digitization or something. Yeah, and it's probably maybe just doing a voiceover because those racks are kind of loud. So maybe a few years down the road or something.
I'm at, it's just loud everywhere. It's hard to get video.
Yeah, I usually just keep my face closer to the phone or whatever it is I'm using, which on that one I did, I had to crawl in between the 2 compressors, and I just completely greased my jacket all over and everything else. And it's like, surprisingly it cleaned up, which I'm about ready for another new one anyway, because it's starting to wear through and stuff. So we can say hi to some of our people out there. We got Zach out there, Zach. Yeah, Zach. Zach Attack. So
Jolyn Pitter. He sent me a message on Instagram earlier. Thank you to him.
Hey, Jamaica.
It looked pretty cool what he's doing. He's said he moved from Jamaica to Canada and is working for Train. He's an apprentice at Train in Canada, apparently.
Wow, that'd be kind of interesting. Cool. Shannon's out there. William Pagan.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen him before. I know
he was
Victor.
One of the winners in my little giveaway.
Sweetness.
He got the Vito Pro Pack TP4 I gave away. What's
awesome.
up, bud?
I'm still waiting on my meter bag 3 or whatever, the one they give you away with the bag you buy. So it hasn't came yet. Adam HVAC, Old Handy Luke, Kangaroo Rouge. I haven't seen him before. Welcome. Dave G, Hamilton, Randy Laz. So yeah, we got quite a few in here. That's cool. Awesome. Thanks guys for stopping in. Appreciate that. Just talking about what we've done, stuff like that. Hey, Dylan Wayne. I haven't seen that one before either. And there's Samuel. That's all right,
Laura
Sam.
in the house.
Yeah, she's up there probably vegetating or something up there. She says she has a headache or something. So whatever.
It happens, man.
Yeah, it always does. Always on Sunday evenings. Yeah, never fails.
I get a headache every Sunday at 8:32.
Exactly. I'm tired of working. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to do nothing. So I'll be glad when tomorrow's over. I'm just beyond tired of it. Greet my PS. Yeah, that's
I told you guys earlier. I felt bad because I took Friday off. That boiler went down to the plant I was at, and not really sure what happened, but I noticed it. I was shutting down the steam for all the steam heaters, and I could smell the alcohol in the what I was draining out of the heaters, and I thought that's different and it's weird, but I didn't know what happened. Somehow they got some of their process ended up getting into the I guess the RO water that they bring back, which I'm assuming is I don't know for sure. I kind of take care of my part. I was kind of staying out of their problems, but reverse osmosis water, I'm thinking that they're bringing back, and somehow the alcohol got into it and it had a smell to it. It was a little bit different, so they had to shut all the boilers down and drain everything.
Are they making alcohol, drinking alcohol, or what are they making?
Yeah. Okay. It's a distillery.
Okay, I know of one that's down there in Kentucky. Pretty sure.
There's a lot.
Starts with J, don't it?
They're everywhere. I've been to a lot of them.
Everybody needs some Shannon. There we go. Somebody has zip screws and stuff too. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, you see I kind of just threw something out. I didn't feel like recording nothing. I didn't feel like really doing a video. So I threw out my old, it's been sitting there for a while, a big old gravity furnace.
I like that.
Old freaking unit, you know. I mean, I've had a few of them in my local town, and this was a town that's adjacent to me, and people were really nice, but they were like down there, like, you know, with me nonstop. And I said, hey, do you care if I record this? I got guys that like to watch some of the stuff I do. Do you have a problem with that or anything? She's like, no, I don't care. So I figured, screw it. We'll sit here and just talk about whatever. And then I cut some stuff out. They were talking about the interesting things, but that was kind of an interesting one. It ended up going out again, I have to admit, probably, I think it was about a month later, maybe a month and a half. And I ended up taking the pilot and lowering it lower because my feeling is if you get that pilot, so just the tip of it's in the flames, and then when it kicks off, it won't pull it out. Couple. Yeah. Well, I've lowered the whole pilot down.
Much if it's fluttering a little bit that it can get off of that thermocouple. If it's too strong, it almost has to be, you know, right in the middle, just perfect.
I wasn't thinking it was pulling it off the thermocouple as much as that it was probably snuffing it out when it turned off. Because I've seen where people have short cycled the furnace where it comes on, woof, and then and it goes out and it creates a vacuum and it'll suck the pilot out.
Yeah, all the oxygen's gone real quick.
Yeah, that's usually what I'm at. Because I asked them, I said, you know, that's why what I was trying to do, and not necessarily like do it too quickly. But I was even thinking, you know, maybe I'll put a 5-second delay on it on make. That way that potentially gets rid of it. And I asked them what kind of stat they had, and I'm pretty sure they had like a T87 original mercury stat or something like that. So
hey, Rick, Kanga just hooked you up.
Thanks, Kanga. Yeah. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yep, yeah, because they demonetized my other freaking one. Supposedly, they claimed a hit on the song or something. I ain't sure what exactly. They didn't give me a strike, but they gave me we're gonna sniff and see how many views this is, if it's worth us investigating type thing or some crap. I don't know, whatever.
I thought about. I haven't watched that yet. I've got it tagged in my watch later. I didn't have enough time to give it a real watch, so I haven't done it yet.
Oh, it's kind of short. It ain't nothing super great.
Those old stuff like that and random stuff is some of the stuff that I like to watch.
Okay. Yeah,
I can watch something that I've never seen or that I see every day all the time, but seeing something like that, a gravity furnace, we don't see many either. There's not many out there anymore.
No, there ain't. I mean, and some people, it's kind of funny. They're like, you better get an analyzer on that. And I'm thinking, I don't trust an analyzer to find out if a heat exchanger is good or bad. I mean, there ain't nothing going to go wrong that you can't see in that type of furnace. It's just one big hunk of metal. And the thing is probably, I bet you, every bit of 16th thick, if not, thicker of metal. I mean, that sucker is not going to.
That wasn't built, in 1990. Like, they built things different back then, too. They're still out there running.
Yeah, and there's no blower, so what's going to sneak in there? It's like
you ain't cracking an old cast iron heat exchanger.
No, and it's not like we carry a freaking analyzer on the truck on every truck. That ain't happening either. I mean, that's $1,500 and up, depending on which one you're getting, and then we're going to charge for it too because we got to pay for that calibration and that sensor usage and stuff like that. So I mean. Yeah, I don't carry it on the truck. It's not that often. I hardly even use one that often. I mean, I think it's a little overrated. How many years did we not have them?
We have one at our office that.
Same.
Honestly, I've only used it a few times just to try to verify a few things. And on the commercial side, it's not the heat exchangers. Everybody freaks out about these heat exchangers, but on the commercial side, it's really not that big of a deal because people don't live there. They might be there for 8 hours. Yeah. And there's other ventilation in the building. So if the heat exchanger's cracked, it's not like it is in your home. Like we have to shut it down. It's done. You can't have heat anymore.
Yeah.
We don't really deal with it like that. It's okay. You got exhaust fans. You're drawing air out. You're not staying the night there. You need to do something with it, obviously, and it's not right, and it is potentially dangerous. But
I used analyzers mostly on my old oil furnace days.
Yeah.
I started with the old HVACR kit.
With the shake it back and forth to get your CO.
Oh yeah. Everything, the chemical.
Yeah, the red stuff.
Draft gauge and the soot, pump it through the piece of paper. But then we got the analyzers and we were using those for a bit, but I haven't touched an oil furnace in
Still have to use the soot gauge though to find out your smoke level, smoke gauge, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean
We've got a newer HVACR that I've used a couple times, but honestly, it's been few and far between. I went to a random. It was an upgraded furnace, but it was an old house for a church locally that actually the pastor lived in, and I wanted to be sure that there wasn't anything wrong with the heat exchanger of the furnace. Everything looked okay, but I went back and did a combustion analysis on it, and just to be sure.
Yeah, we got a UEI, the yellow one. It's been pretty good. We had them at the last company I was at too, and they've been pretty reliable. I mean, I'm not a big UEI fan, but they do pretty good on the analyzer. I had a lot of problems with the cheaper back rack one we had. Every year we had to send it in. It would take a dump on us. I mean, it wasn't one of the real expensive ones, but it was like that. I forget what it was. It was the blue one, probably 12 years ago, something like that. It may have been even older than that, but yeah, it ain't I don't know. The UEI seemed to hold up really good. The one with the eagle on it or something. I forget what it was, but it does good. They're asking about your vacuum pump there, Hughes, man.
Yeah, I got the Elitech intelligent vacuum pump that I made a video on. It was kind of a surprise to me to get that, and I made a little video about it. If you guys haven't seen it, go check me out on Hughesman HVAC on YouTube. But it's a pretty cool little thing. It's got a touchscreen display on it. You could Bluetooth it to your phone, data log, 12 CFM.
Battery powered?
No, it's 110
Corded.
volt.
Gotcha.
Corded,
I'm kind of curious about the 12 CFM through a 1/4 inch cap, though. That seemed a little shady. I'm kind of wondering about that. I don't know. Yeah,
but it sucked my system right down. So
sucked your gizzard clean, huh?
Yeah, I got down to where I needed it to be. So
they do a good job. The one I saw the symposium they did down there in Florida on HVAC school. They did a test between the two new battery powereds.
Yeah.
A 12 CFM and a 4 CFM, and I mean, you can pull a whole lot. We don't really realize how restrictive our hoses and the valve cores and everything that we're using, the manifold that you've done for years, and how restrictive it is. And when you just open it up and have a hose straight to the system that's 1/2 inch, inside diameter, how quickly you can pull something down, especially on the
Sure.
commercial side with some of the nasty stuff that, you might run into, a burnout with all kinds of crap in it. It's, real easy to
Contaminated
not be
oil.
able to pull that down.
Well, that was my biggest issue with it, was the 1/4 inch connection, because I've got the Appion hoses, so I had to get that Appion speed wide just to be able to connect my hoses, but it's a vacuum pump and it sucks in a good
It
way,
sucks.
Kind of like a vacuum cleaner. How's that display going to work and when it gets wet, though? I'm kind of wondering about that.
I don't know.
Does it have an IP
It rained
rating
a little
or
bit on
anything?
it. I could still, it didn't come through on the video as well because it was very sunny, and but I could read it. I kind of shaded it a little bit, and then, I picked it up after I got the footage onto my computer and looked at it. You could see some of it, but you can Bluetooth it right to your phone, and it's got the graph on there. The micron gauge at the vacuum pump was a little, I mean, I guess there could be a good, you could at least see what your micron gauge or your micron level is right at the pump. But the gauge I had on the system, as a, compared to the micron gauge in the pump, they were different.
Well, they're going to be.
know.
I mean, it's right there
They're
at the
gonna be.
pump.
But I liked it because you can graph it, and if you've got burps or hiccups or a leak, you're going to see it no matter what vacuum pump or micron gauge you're looking at. So I thought that was cool, and I'm I'm happy now because I have two vacuum pumps on the truck now, which was also always because sometimes I get hit with two leak searches in a day. I don't know, maybe I'm working too hard. I seem to be the only guy that gets hit with two leak searches in a day. But
Some of the stuff we've done, we got a couple big old train units. I've done compressor replacements on the semi-hermetic compressors, but we're talking 100 tons of coolant, and when you have to change a dryer and pull a vacuum before you put 120 pounds of refrigerant in this thing, it's like you want to do a good job, and one vacuum pump's not always good enough, especially to do it quickly. So I would often hook two of them up at different places, and there's enough ports that you can still get your, you can hook them both up individually and still get your vacuum gauge and everything else hooked on there. So
my other pump is the Yellow Jacket Bullet, which I like because it's got a 1/4 inch and it's got 2 3/8 connections to it. So I can connect both my hoses right to it. I like that. But normally if I get a leak search and a compressor all in the same roof, they're expecting me to do it. I'll ask for another pump. And of course I get the beat up one that hasn't had the oil changed in 3 years, So now
that's most of the pumps on half the guy's truck. So
I change my oil at least every 3, depending on what kind of, at least every third, use. I drain it and I change it out. But a lot of guys don't. They don't. I
try to do the same thing. I mean, it's hard, but I try to do the same thing and keep that oil clean. It's amazing what clean oil does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think I made a video a while ago where I had my vacuum pump and the oil hadn't been changed in a while, and I forget what I might have pumped down a recovery cylinder or something, and then I changed the oil and just showed the comparison between the two, and But yeah, I
did last summer. I did a bad burnout on a Carrier rooftop, and I mean the oil sight glass on my pump actually turned colors, and I had to flush that thing over and over and over again to get that out. I mean, it almost turned black, and I was like, man, this sucks, because it's you can see it in there, and it's like, my God, I got to clean this out somehow.
Yep. Next on my list is a micron gauge. Looking to get a new one. I've had this Yellow Jacket micron gauge that for forever, and I clean it with the alcohol, whatnot. But this CPS one I have that Rick, you comment on, yours hasn't given you any issues.
I haven't used it for years, but yeah, it works.
Mine always pulls down. I don't trust it because no matter what I'm on, it pulls down. I've got too good of a vacuum. You know what I mean? I got to question it. And then I was messing around with this pump, and I was I had both micron gauges hooked up. So I took the micron reading in the vacuum pump itself, this new pump, then the CPS, and then the yellow jacket. And it seemed like I had 3 different readings between all 3, you know. I'm like,
I mean, were they off by 5 or 10, or what was they off by?
No, well, the CPS was at like 300.
What was the others?
The yellow jacket and the Elitech in the pump were relatively close. So I'm believing that the yellow jacket was giving me a truer reading. And
probably
that CPS was, it's always since day one. I'm like, holy crap, I'm already down, you know. I don't know if cleaning it will.
I've had them before that first of all, the best tool is a tool that you trust.
Yeah, and I don't trust that CPS.
Especially the micron gauges, man. I mean, what you're reading this, but how much I mean, if you've only got one, especially, you have nothing to go on. Like, it's either right or it's not, and you're playing a game there that could end up bad.
I could always save the CPS for when I need to be home on time.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there
it is.
Let's go.
The Hvac has been the best gauge I've ever had. And then when I learned about it was on some of the forums, and then everyone was talking. I mean, the owner of the company is on there, and I literally sent mine back after owning it for 6 years, and he rebuilt it for me for $35. Wow. So I dealt straight with the owner of Hvac. I mean, so the guy really did me good. I mean, they're expensive.
The smaller one, that'll take pressure too, won't it?
Well, they both will. They'll both do 500 or 600 pounds. So, I mean, the little one, supposedly, from what I was told from Chris or whatever, that it's when you link it to your phone, you literally get all the same features that the fancy Pro one's got. I just can't hardly justify $350, $380 for the Pro one when my other one still works. So it's like, do I need to do that?
I saw that Mini. I've been looking at it. I haven't bought it yet, but it looks really cool. And the biggest thing about it is you can put pressure on it. There's no need to have to valve it off anymore. You know, be concerned about exactly how you're setting everything up because you can't put pressure onto your micron gauge. So you don't want to charge it. You got to valve this off and take this off and move this or whatever. It makes it that much easier.
Yeah, I mean, and I use that pass load cleaner for like cordless tools. That is the best way I found. It's real high concentrate like alcohol, and it's pressurized, so you can just pull out the plunger thing in the middle and the rubber. Yep, put it in there, shake it out a few times, do it again. And if you get oil in it, it'll say oil. I mean, I always put it on usually the high side, and then when I break it loose, you know, the pressure comes up to high, whatever it says. And I've never had an issue with that thing ever. They're just really. He says you can't damage it.
In the chat, Bo Hanger said the same thing. You know, he wouldn't advise putting actual pressure on it. No, agreed. You don't want to put pressure on it, but not having to worry about it after you're pulling a vacuum. If I can, just break my vacuum with a slight amount of refrigerant and then be able to pull it off without having to be terribly concerned about it. Like I am mine now. I mean, mine now comes off before anything changes on the vacuum.
And then you're taking a chance of letting something in,
and then you have a potential to get something in there.
Yeah, so I've used ball valves before,
but they all seem to leak. I mean,
I know,
even the core tools.
Then you've got
leak.
Potential leakage.
Yeah, and then you might think you have a leak, and you take forever to pull.
I usually put the refrigerant in, and then take the micron gauge off. Like as it's going in, I take it off.
I think I'd be a little afraid that it's still maybe not out of vacuum yet, but
I wait till it's equalized on both sides of the gauges.
Oh yeah, I mean I ain't letting the compressor run, but
But I guess I've got a micron gauge also built into the field piece S-Mans. I'm gonna take all 3 of them, I think, and hook them all up to one cylinder and see what kind of readings I get on all 3. But
I put mine on the T right on the pump, and I have a picture of the Hvac and my CPS, and they both were within like 5 pound or 5 psi or 5 digits of each other. I mean, it was 5 or 10 digits, and that was like they were down to like 15 or something. So
I'm gonna clean that CPS real good. I'm gonna take it, take the take the depressor and the thing out and clean it up with the alcohol. And I think I'm going to reevaluate them, but I
Watch
am
your
in the
battery,
market for
too.
a new micron gauge. So if anybody wants to send me a free micron gauge, hit me up at HughesMainHVAC.com.
I tried to get him to
gmail.com.
work something out with me. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I tried to get Hvac to give me one, or try to get them to at least give me a major discount or something, and they didn't roll with it. So it's like, whatever.
What was that, Steve?
Eve.
Uh-oh.
Lost your audio.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Steve.
Sorry, I got you now.
No.
Police security flashlights. Sent me this nice little flashlight here.
Oh, nice.
Rechargeable. The back opens up and there's a USB, to charge it. This thing's pretty cool. It's a little pocket flashlight, which I carry all day, every day anyways. Real small, fits in my pocket, and nice and bright. 300 lumens, I believe.
Awesome.
I'm really enjoying it. I haven't put it to the test yet, but I will be doing so because I'm hard on tools and flashlights. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how it does.
I'm big into my Phoenix. Mine is a Kydex case, and that thing, it does awesome. It's got the USB on the side, and they've came out with newer ones that are magnetic, but mine uses that 8650 battery, whatever. So it lasts me usually most of the week. I've
got a Klein LED magnetic swivel type in my one bag, and then I got a Tractor Supply special at the register.
Sweet.
$5 special.
Yeah,
it's a good flashlight.
I've got flashlights everywhere, but I keep, I've got a utility light that's got a magnet and will rotate and stuff like that. But for just, I always keep one in my pocket. I don't know. What do you guys keep in your pockets? I carry constantly in my pocket at all times a 3/8, chuck, 5/16, a 1/4 inch, and my pocket screwdriver, marker, and a flashlight constantly, every day, all the time.
I keep a pocket knife, a pen, a little paper tablet, and my phone. I try to keep it the least amount of stuff in my pockets as possible.
I got my
Leatherman. It gets ridiculous when I got to go through security, and it's like, well, let me empty my pockets for you. All right, you want me to do it? I'll do it.
Take my pants down too. Check this out. I got my Leatherman and a Kydex case, the flashlight and the Kydex, and then I've just got me a new voltage pen, which was like the one that I've had long ago, because I had that. I still have it. It's Klein. The freaking clip on it broke, which was disappointing. It had the laser infrared thermometer, that junk thing. It's way out by 10 degrees, so I wasted 40 some bucks on. I went back to the only one that's supposedly approved by OSHA. It was $29 on Amazon. It glows whenever you touch things, the static electricity. Otherwise, I carry my thermometer, a marker, my special ink pen that I like, and that's about it. So those are my toys.
My pockets fill up as the day goes on, so I try to start as empty as possible.
I try to put things back in the place because you forget stuff.
Yeah, the trick is getting all the little tiny valve cords and everything out of your pockets before you throw them in the washer.
Yeah, because I left my Kleins down out of town. Luckily, one of our guys lived down by the restaurant, so I got to get those hopefully back this week. And I forget what else. I've been leaving things behind. I left my soap bottle somewhere. I think it's at one of the other restaurants that I recorded, which that's another video. It's on my phone. I could probably pull off. But yeah, it's like this week was not a recording video week to where I really cared. It was just too much going on nonstop.
It's been rough. I've been trying to get a little bit here and there, but I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know what it's worth, but because I've been at the plant for a week and a half, and I got another week and a half to go.
Yeah, that screws things up. That's what happened to me a week or two ago when I was on that air handler makeup air unit. That screwed up quite a few days of stuff. And then this week I had quite a few service calls, but they were all either really stupid and easy or couldn't record or whatever. It just wasn't nothing all that great. So kind of, I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks for me too. I need it to get hot so I can be out there. Honestly, I mean, it's what we do, but these PMs get boring after a while, and I get bored. I need to just get out and run some service.
Yeah, we're trying to knock them out before we get wiped out, which is what I'm
We're
just
doing
waiting for to happen.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing. Well, we won't be caught up anyways. I mean, we're going to be the big thing is get the biggest, important, and the longest ones. Like try to get them done.
Yeah, the best customers that you got that keep you busy, got to get them done. That's kind of what we're going through.
And get them done and make sure you don't have to go back. Like if you can do one thing on a PM and you know you don't have to go back, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Agreed.
That the train I did, the last video I did, man, the first thing I saw, the brand new train unit, I walked up and I see this, that discharge little cap tube running across the condenser section, just hanging there. And I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? I mean, it was sitting there screaming at you. It's like, this is going to leak.
Mm-hmm.
Should have never got out of the factory that way, in my opinion. But I mean, they make a good product, but that shouldn't happen.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
I liked what you did with it.
Thank you. I mean, I've honestly used that. I'm not trying to act like I came up with it or something. I saw somebody else do it, I think, but it works great. 1/4-inch tubing fixes a whole lot of stuff, and it makes it easy, and strap it down tight, and it's done.
Yep. I've got a ton of units where it's either wires or capillary tubes or whatever, the rubbing, and that's the little things that you can take and prevent from turning into a big thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a York unit with the 3 condensers. I said York. Let me correct myself. Linux. And the wires run from the control panel through to all the condenser motors. And, they put this plastic casing on there to protect them where it goes through. Mm-hmm. But they move and vibrate over time. And then I had 2 fan motors that weren't running. I had a blown fuse at the main breaker had blown. So, I ohmed out all my compressors. I had no major shorts to ground that I saw. And then, so I went back down, reset the breaker, and came back up, and I flipped the disconnect on, and I'm watching it. Everything comes on, and I'm like, all right, well, what the hell happened? What tripped the breaker? Well, compressors kicked on, and I only had 1 fan running. And I'm like, okay. So I started checking power, and then you start realizing, okay, something's not right. And then you get in there. Off? Yeah, just sheared off, cut directly in half. And it's
hang in there.
This could have been prevented.
Yep.
I mean, and then that's something that, I didn't get any video on it, but that's something for the young guys to be like, I could have reset that thing and ran, and it would have been fine for a little while. This was a big plant, so they wouldn't have noticed right away, but we would have been back.
Absolutely. That dangling hot wire.
Well, and it was the thing is, and this is what gets some of the young guys, I think. It was a long walk through security, back across the roof, down the ladder, across the building, empty your pockets, go outside. I mean, I spent hours there fixing what wasn't a major issue, but
are they thinking you're walking out with something?
No, it's facilities that do delivery and shipping, and so it's almost a constant. Honestly, I don't know that they made me empty my pockets. You had to have somebody with you. This one was actually a little easier because they let me in the back door after I checked in at security, and they checked me and whatever. But a lot of these places, some of the places we go, are real strict about. I mean, we had an Amazon facility, and it was, you go in, you go out, you empty every pocket
every time.
You sign your phone in, you take your boots off, you show me the inside of your boots.
Wow.
Your phone, you have to go through and find, like, I had to have the person help me. I'm like, they wanted the ID number on my phone.
Why?
the hell's that at? I mean, to make sure, I guess they have phones that they may ship in there, and they don't want
in
you
case
walking
you
out with a
borrowed
phone.
one. Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that those places are strict on it, and it makes it hard.
I think I would be requiring them just to send somebody with me if you're that damn worried about it.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they pay me the same. If that's what I got to do, then
Yeah,
you
but
know, it's
they don't
gonna.
trust
You
you at
just have to
all.
realize. You have to realize up front that it's going to take longer to do a job. You can't just
Sure.
go in there and fix something in an hour and be done and out.
I worked at a hazardous waste incinerator plant, and their security was crazy. Anytime in and out, I had to have fall protection, like to go up 2 rungs on a ladder. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, so I kind of know what you mean there. They also produce their own steam. We had a lot of hot steam coils there. Their steam would always drop out though in the winter, and then we'd be patching coils, just patching them. But yeah, to go back to your point earlier, I mean, if you got a tripped breaker on a unit and you reset it and everything seems to be working, I mean, don't just walk away from that. You got to investigate it. You've got to see because something caused that.
Yeah, I mean, at
Something
least
caused it.
make sure. I mean, I've seen too many guys walk away from things like that, and it's like
It's working.
well, yeah. I mean, and when you're the next guy out, you're going, come on, man, like
Yeah.
we can't be doing this. This is not how we need to do things.
Yeah.
Weaver
that
was
easy.
mentioning something there
Yeah.
about direct fire makeup air units seem to be dangerous. Weaver, you got to remember what is carbon monoxide? It's incomplete combustion, and how's that burner working? You're pulling outside air and blowing it right behind the burner. So I mean, it's getting 100% oxygen packed in behind it, and then they don't just put that air into the building and not suck it out. So they've got an exhaust system also sucking the building out the other way. Obviously, they're keeping it into a positive, but there's no carbon monoxide for the most part that's going to be anything noticeable. I've never stuck the analyzer in there, but it's such a low level that you're not going to have any issues with it. And they got limits in there, so
yeah. I mean, there's, I mean, people are. That's what I try to explain. And that's why we explain it like potentially unsafe, because there's not carbon monoxide there just because you're burning a flame.
no.
It comes with incomplete combustion.
I think
And
it's one of those things that just
It
people
scares
can't
people.
wrap their mind around.
Yeah,
It's
scares
new.
people,
They
and
see
they don't,
one
and
thing
they don't know. And that's why when we see it on the commercial side, that's why I said it's a little different than, these residential guys go out there. And I understand, if there's a crack in your heat exchanger, I'm sorry, we got to shut this down. You live here. I don't want to kill you and your family. Like that makes sense.
and
But
it's
the
a
buildings
liability.
Yeah, and the buildings we work in is completely different, and it's still a liability. But we have to note it and make sure we're clear about what we're seeing and what needs to be done. But with the direct fired stuff, it's funny because there's no half of those units when you look at them. If you call the manufacturer, if you read up on those books, they don't tell you a gas pressure. There's no gas valve that says 3.5 inches water column. You get, and I've talked to them, and they're like, well, the flame should be nice blue with orange tips, and it should be about 12 to 18 inches off the burner. And I'm like, okay, well, let me turn it on and get my tape measure in there so I can see exactly where this burner's at. Like, there's no exact, it's not an exact science. It's look at it and see what it looks like. Is it burning okay? Which makes sense too, but it's just funny when someone tell you that.
I had one. It was a big monster one, and I had to have the factory come out. They claimed they tested it before it left the factory. And he came out with all of his fancy gauges to check and verify CFM that was moving. My pressure drop across the burner was not enough to really keep it where it needed to be at. So they ended up, modifying the plate when it was all said and done. This is after they changed the pulley and did all kinds of other crap. And it was quite an interesting thing. But I mean, because one company practically owns all of them now. But yeah, he said something about that. Maybe that's why they're interlocked. Yeah, I mean, most of them are. I know a lot of mine that I work on aren't, but a lot of my stuff's kind of jerry-rigged type stuff. A lot of mine's really old and stuff. So, but yeah, you prefer to have something sucking it out before you're just blowing it in. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said, I mean, a lot of ours is boiler rooms. They're using it for combustion air, or kitchens when I mean, they're sucking all that air out anyways. It's going somewhere.
Mhm.
But the last one I did, I think it was might have been a green heck. It's been a while back ago. I got a video on it. They came off the duct on the top of it. It didn't look right to me, but they literally 90 directly off the top of the makeup air, and then turned up and went up the wall of the building and then into the building. And I was having it tripped the high limit, and it was just turbulence, and I could see it. Like if I adjusted it enough to get it running, and then I got a hold of tech support, and they said that 90's got to be up higher. You can't put that 90 right there. You've got all this turbulence sitting there in the air, and it's getting too hot.
I had a Burger King. They had no makeup air other than on the rooftop units. So they all had to be at least about an inch or better open to make up for what they were sucking out. Hughes man, Tito there was asking about what your thoughts are on that big old monster backpack with the wheels on it. That thing looks heavy
Yeah,
to me.
I saw that. I responded to him in the chat. I'm jealous. I want it. I bought that. I bought that blackout backpack, and then right after I bought it, they said, "Oh, coming soon," and I was like, "Man, I want it."
No,
I might sell
I
it.
saw his picture the other day,
Yeah.
and Ernesto had a good picture on there, and I thought, man, that looks cool. It looks like
Yeah.
a suitcase or something with wheels.
Oh yeah.
A Vito with wheels, and I'm like,
You
dude,
know,
I
I
man,
I
I
But
pull
could
that
you
big
imagine
thing up
backing that
the
on your
roof
back,
sometimes.
though? That looks heavy.
Well, you don't have to have it on your back.
Then why
Well,
make it a
it would-
You
that-
backpack?
just wheel it right behind you.
You might as well just get
Yeah,
out the
well-
freaking Milwaukee thing, pack out then. I mean, that's about where it's coming at because that thing looks huge.
yeah.
Chris has got one
Well, I
coming
mean,
supposedly.
it wouldn't be something I carried all the time. I would still probably carry my little MB2 or whatever with just my basic stuff. But
Yep.
if you needed a bag that's going to go up on a roof for you for a day to do a job, or a week to do a job, or whatever, it'd be nice to have something a little bit larger, and wheels
Well,
would be awesome.
I use my Tech Pack blackout backpack. I use that for compressor replacements, leak searches, and I do a lot of blower bearing repairs, pulling the whole thing out. That's when I pull that out there. For anything else, service calls, PMs, I've gone back to the MC bag just because it's lighter, obviously. And I've got enough tools that I can make 2 bags out of what I've got. But yeah, I like that thing with the wheels.
No,
I
it looks
want one.
cool. Looks really cool. Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, I carry my MB2 everywhere. I mean, that's got all my basic stuff. I can figure out what's wrong and figure out what I need from there with just that bag, and then I can go down and grab, extra stuff if I need it.
See, I couldn't get into that
Yep.
meter bag thing. It's just everything's just clumped together. And I didn't like that you can't easily get to stuff. You got to dig, you got to pull things out. I like my open electrician style, TP4. I thought about even buying the TP5 because, I mean, technically that probably would have been the perfect bag. And honestly, the MC bag and that TP4, I mean, for the most part, they all are the exact same, almost a point, same room to a point. But I've been using my little MC blackout, the backpack, and I've liked it so far. It's not bad. It weighs 30 pounds, so it's a little heavier, but it does a really good job so far. I really like it.
My thing is we got to go so far half the time. I used to carry a bigger bag, and I had everything, anything I could possibly need was in this bag. But it just got too heavy, and it's cumbersome trying to carry it up a ladder and then across the roof. And it's 30 to 40 pounds, and it's like, why am I doing this? Like, I know what I need. I got the basics right here. If it's a simple problem, I can fix it. If it's not a simple problem, I'm going to be up here longer than it's going to matter about this MB2 anyways, because I'm going to have to grab everything else, pipe wrenches, whatever else you need from the truck, and I'm going to have to get it up here anyways. So I keep the basics and the essentials, and that's it in the MB2. And I don't carry anything else unless I need to go back down to get, more tools.
That's why I'm kind of curious on that meter bag 3 that I got coming. It's got the soft bottom though. It's the only thing kind of sucks, but that thing it dwarfs the MB2. And so I'm like half tempted to see if I can't make that into a little backpack. But
Well,
uh,
I've got my shoulder strap. And I think Ernesto did the same thing with his
yeah, he
MB2.
put two of them on
He
there.
crossed his shoulder straps or something and made it a backpack.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same deal. I've got mine at an angle to where I can put it on my back, and it makes it a little easy. I mean, the MB2 is small enough, anyways, but it makes it nice to carry.
Yeah, that was the only thing I didn't like about the open top is the rain can get on it and then you start getting rust. And I didn't like that, but it fit right in everywhere. But really, the backpack's been surprisingly for it's basically a MCT is what it really is with backpack straps. I mean, for the most part, I mean it's what it physically it's the same size as the MC, only taller. So I mean, but $270 some bucks. I'm not probably going to dump it right away. I mean, I think it was freaking expensive.
Yeah, they get expensive, man. Their Vito makes a great bag though. You gotta give it to them. I mean, they know how to make a tool bag, and the warranty, man. I've taken them in to our local supply houses, and it's been like it's been 3 years old, and it's like the zipper kind of broke and it won't zip anymore, and this and that. And they're like, yeah, give it to us, and they'll throw me a new one on the counter and say, here, you can transfer it out right here.
Damn, that's
I'll
a nice
take all my
supply
stuff
house.
out. Put it in the new one, and they take the old one, and I'm like, dude, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I haven't had to use
Tito's saying that
warranty.
you can direct message Vito on Instagram. I've tried to get a hold of them email wise, and that didn't work. And they've got a lot of publicity off my MP or TP4B and my other bag. I mean, they got I think 30,000 views or more out of the dang thing, and I didn't get nothing for that.
They got back to me.
How did you get a hold of them? I don't do
email. When I did my giveaway, I reached out to them, and they got back to me with a hard no.
Maybe I'm just an asshole. I mean, it is a possibility.
And I was like, well, thanks for getting back to me at least.
Yeah.
At least they told you no. They just didn't
they just ignored me. I mean, they didn't get it.
They told me it was because of their spring promo that they didn't want to, and
they can't
maybe
keep
I'll
it
hit
in
them
stock
back
as
up.
it
I'll
is.
see.
Yeah. Of course, I was going big. I wanted that freaking backpack. I mean, I think it's almost $300. So I mean,
Well, I only asked for anything. I was like, send me
and
some
they still gave you no.
or a shirt or something. They said no, but Refrigeration Technologies said yes. And
he's pretty good about stuff, though. I think he is.
True Tech Tools said yes. They gave me a $50 gift certificate to give away to somebody.
That's who I went to. I figured I'd try to get them, and they're like, they almost considered it far as just let me use it to see what it was like. But I'm thinking, I really don't just want to send it back.
United Refrigeration. I just took the free stuff I get at the counter and gave that away.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's what I told these guys. That this flashlight's freaking awesome. I'm like, send me whatever. I've been on their website. I've actually bought some of the police security stuff and seen
police security, huh?
Yeah, they have some really cool. They have a nice. They got a headlamp and
Instagram, huh?
It's cool. That's what they. I've seen them on Instagram.
Is Instagram part of Facebook, or how's that work? I am like out of touch when it comes to that crap. I've never been. You can use it as anything.
You can put a video on Instagram.
Really?
Make a video. Yeah, I mean, go check out mine sometime. It's everything HVACR.
I mean, it's just posting pictures, ain't it? I mean, this is pathetic.
I know. I put the sneak peek. Honestly, my last video, the sneak peek that I put out there, that was just me putting that plastic tubing on the copper line and securing it.
Yeah.
That little 57-second video or whatever, I made it a short on YouTube, but a week earlier I posted it on Instagram and just threw it up there and said, hey, this is what I was doing today or whatever. I mean, you can do videos and you can do longer videos and whatever, or just pictures. A lot of it's just my in between stuff that I don't have time for a video or whatever.
I've got the Instagram, but I've just never. I'm like Rick. I feel I'm out of touch with it.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand where y'all are coming from, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing either. I don't. Yeah. I haven't been on Facebook because I've never had a Facebook. Yeah. I'm not a social media guy. I just started this YouTube thing, and I really still don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it's just
Well,
been
you're
kind of
doing
crazy.
pretty well for not knowing.
I get a
what you're
lot
doing.
of hit ups from the video game people. Hey, we want you to we like your channel, blah, blah, blah. We got a video game you would love. I'm like, I don't do video games. Why are you hitting me up? That just tells you the kind of money they got to waste at the video game market.
The Instagram was really cool. I mean, I said the Jahil or whatever his name was there had literally reached out to me earlier today and just thanked me for my videos. And, I really appreciated what you're doing. He said, I just moved from Jamaica to Canada and I'm working with Train now. And he said, your PM videos have been really helpful and I appreciate
That's
it.
awesome.
I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, hell yeah,
That is
man.
awesome.
I told him, I said, hey, come on, check out the live stream tonight.
I need to
Sportland
just
hit me
start checking Instagram more and just getting rid of Facebook. That's all.
I'd like to get rid of Facebook, but yeah.
I'm posting an Instagram little something tomorrow. I don't care what it is. Doing it.
Ernesto, do it. I mean, he said, I think what helped him was the pictures he posted on Instagram.
Huh.
And I mean, like I said, you almost get, it's kind of an inside look at what you see on YouTube, honestly, because I put that little short video up a long time ago before I even made it.
Can you make it your own name?
With YouTube, you have to it's got to be vertical and this or that to be a short or whatever. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But they're making it difficult. But I just threw it on Instagram.
On the Instagram thing, can you make it your channel name or does it have to be your personal name?
My personal name is attached to it, but the name of if you're gonna search for it, it's everything HVACR. I mean, it's the same thing. Because you'll see a lot of the same guys. Honestly, there's a whole community around the Instagram too, just like there is on the YouTube with HVAC guys. And there's good guys out there. And good guys that you all have probably seen or know about, but and maybe not from Instagram, but and HVAC Tactical is one of them. HVAC Tactical is amazing. Yeah. And they're all about taking a tactical mindset take a tactical mindset to what we do every day. And that's helped me. And I think about it the same way. You have to I prepare every day like that. That's what I'm going to do. I have a job to do. And I've got a plan on what I'm doing. If I have a helper with me, I know what he's doing. And we're gonna approach this tactically. And it's good stuff. And there's a whole lot of them on there doing good stuff.
Awesome. I'm gonna check that out.
Got to lurk
a little more.
Got to start lurking.
I'm gonna lurk.
A little bit of lurk. Whistle while you lurk. I forget whose channel I seen that on. He had it on his bag. I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
I'm gonna lurk like a lumbering weirdo.
That's the other stuff. You get good memes and just random crap on Instagram too.
Well, here's the important question. Every once in a while. There's a lot of hot chicks on Instagram, right?
Honestly, I'm doing the HVAC stuff. I haven't. I hear that there is, but
you hear. I'll get back to you next week on the hot chick count on Instagram.
Connor, how much was Hughes Man's account worth? Yeah, his wife's leaving him. Yeah, that's right. What happened? He found some chicks on Instagram.
Yes.
He lost it all.
I got it. I'm from Kentucky. I got an old country girl here that'll run them out of the room. So I ain't worried about it.
Be like, yeah, Hughes Man's not doing HVAC videos anymore. He's doing weird dance videos.
Yeah, TikTok,
Instagram,
TikTok. It's all good.
No, don't think about it that way. Honestly, y'all get on there and check it out, and just go. I mean, my channel on Instagram is the same thing. It's only HVAC stuff, and I try to keep. There'll be a little personal stuff in there, maybe pick the family picture or whatever. But sure. I try to keep it to HVAC stuff with a little bit here and there, and try to post something inspirational every once in a while. I mean, a lot of guys on there do that. There's a lot of good duct guys and guys that they're really proud of their piping and how they're running their line sets and stuff. And there's a couple of them on there that are amazing. And the work they do is like, gee, wow.
And it's probably kind of reinvigorating for the job. Have you guys ever felt that? Like, I've run through cycles where I'm like, I'm tired of it. And then something will happen and I'll feel reinvigorated for what I'm doing, just excited to
Yeah, because I was
kind of
down
excited to go.
to the point where I just didn't even want to
Honestly,
do it. It's like, whatever. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Why should I waste my time? Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do it. And then you finally get out of it and you're back to it again. I mean, you run into that, I think, because it does get to be a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
you get in those things, man. I mean, that honestly, you're 100% correct. Some of the guys on there it will get you amped up to do what you do again
And do a better job at it.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, anyways, and it's amped me up to do what I'm doing better. I mean, it's pushed me to do, you're putting on a YouTube, so you want it to be good, anyways. But it's pushed me to be better, and it's pushed me to want to inspire some people and say, just like the guy messaged me on Instagram saying your videos helped me out a lot. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm just a regular guy out here, just like you or anybody else. And if we can share what we know, a little bit of what we know, to try to help somebody else, help the next guy, we need to do it.
I think that's what's kind of interesting. What's kind of unfortunate is like we have to go like several states away to find like-minded people, because I mean there's so many that just don't care, and it's just a job. I'm just trying to get done and go home.
Yeah, there's always going to be that. And
sure,
that's fine. If you do what you do, if you want to be better, you can come be a part of something, or you can just live your life away. Make minimum wage. Do what you do. Keep doing the same thing. You don't want to be better, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're gonna be doing it, you might as well do it good. That's the way I look at it. I'm kind of OCD though. I went through like on that one I was doing there at that one I told you about. I went to it, and I'm thinking, why in the world would they put all the fans on one big old 45 amp circuit? And I'm like, let's check the defrost heater fuses while I'm at it. And sure enough, I found one that was blown. So it's like, okay, great. But yeah, it just always go that little extra step there to try to, cover it for later, even if you're the only one that knows about it, you know then that you've done the best you can.
I mean, we need to be approaching our jobs like that anyways. I mean, there's always going to be a situation where there's going to be a callback. You're going to miss something.
OCD.
It's going to happen.
OCD.
I don't care who you are. I know. And I don't care how OCD you are, because I'm the same way.
No,
there's going to be things you miss or that you have to go back on.
One of my guys said that. I had to
take an extra step and be better. You can catch a lot of those things.
Oh yeah, go back and make sure you didn't leave no tools. Make sure the disconnects are on. Make sure everything's set back to temperature. Just stupid little things like that. Especially when I've been leaving tools behind.
The disconnects are on.
Yeah,
we had a little run where I'm at. Where I know, but we had a run.
Man, if I was traveling as far as you're dang right.
We had to put out a memo. Make sure the disconnects are on.
Well, I'll confess. I did a video a while back ago, and I didn't call myself out for it, but there was 2 service calls on the same site, and I found a disconnect off. I'm pretty sure I did. Not sure what happened.
Well, that's when you write up a corrected wire or wire. Yeah.
No, I mean, it was a third party that controls the place.
Found a bird inside of it.
But I know I rewalked the roof, and I'm OCD about what I do anyways. And when I saw it, and I'm like, this is weird. So I called the office, and hey, who was out here last? Blah blah blah. Well,
you were, sucker.
Ain't nobody been out there but you since and it had been 2 months or something.
Holy cow!
Like, damn. Well, I was hoping I could blame somebody else, but I guess I can't.
Somebody got on his roof.
You're a finger pointer. Now we know who did it. Oh, he's a finger pointer.
It happens, man.
My girl, our dispatch woman won't tell us who was there. But we got a new guy coming in.
I went to a job where I had to replace all the gas line on the entire roof. Everything. So like 8 rooftop units. Somebody else wrote it up. There were some sheared off, broken gas lines. So me and James went out there. We cut everything out and started at the beginning, and we piped all this piping in, and we did the whole thing. Went back, painted it, put all the supports under it, everything. Well, like 3 days later, my boss calls me. He's like, "Did you guys put supports under that gas line?" We're like, "Yeah," because it had sheared off again, right in the same spot. Apparently, there's something was going on with the roof at that location, and when the wind, I don't know what's going on, but I was like, "Yeah,"
You're
and I
snapping
had to
gas
second
lines
guess
off.
myself at that point. What was that, Rick?
You're snapping gas lines off?
Yeah, they've got a major roof issue. This is a very windy area, and they've
You've
got a
gotta-
roof problem. The whole roof bounces, and it
Holy
snapped off
crap.
their gas lines. The fire department had to come out and shut the gas off to the store because the whole freaking parking lot stunk of gas. What more can I do than repipe it all, support it all, paint it all? Everything was good when I left there, but yeah, they've got a major roof problem at this location.
It's hard. I
And,
mean, we see the same thing, and not necessarily. I don't know that I've seen the gas lines actually snapped, but they put
They
these
snap.
nice supports on the
Mhm.
gas line, and they're rubber bases with the like a unistrut on top, and you strap the gas line to it.
Yep.
But it's amazing what a little bit of rainwater and wind and everything does.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you set it up and it's nice and straight, and then a week later it's like it's a big curvy
Going
mess,
like
and it's like,
this.
what
Yep.
the hell's going on? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it don't take much to move that down. Slide it down just a little bit every time it rains. And it's out of whack.
Well, the people at this store during storms will hear slamming on the roof. So, and I've been to this particular location when the wind is blowing, that whatever material they have for roof, just it's like a wave.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's the way the store is built or what, but something's going on with the roof.
Is it a rubber roof?
It's kind of it's not rubber, it's like a vinyl white. It's a white roof.
I've seen
So,
some get air underneath of them somehow.
Yeah.
And maybe it's doing like the popcorn thing you used to do back in gym.
Yeah. I just did the quoted repair I was sent there to do. They delivered me a shit ton of pipe. I doped it up, screwed it together. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, it's kind of out of my hands at this
Was
point.
that crimped together or
They've
was
had-
it threaded?
Threaded black iron pipe.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can snap those lines if they're done right. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Sounds like they need
takes some
welded.
force, but
Sounds like what, Rick?
They need welded. Just weld them. Because when you thread it, you're
Or
thinning that out anyhow.
strapped down to the. I don't know what's going on with their roof, but
How are they
when
not
the wind
losing
blows,
roof panels, I guess, is what's kind of crazy. You would think you'd lose other stuff.
Well,
we
they go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we've had multiple leaks at a location. It's been years ago, but it was a pharmaceutical location, and there was small leaks. It didn't snap a line, but the lines were moving. So we redid it, just like you said, re-threaded, redid everything, fixed the leaks. They actually had leaks on the main, too, and we went back and put in, because it was pharmaceutical, it had to stay a certain temperature. So they got backup heaters at that point, electric heaters that would come on if they lost gas pressure. There was a relay to a gas pressure sensor. They lost gas pressure, brought the electric heat on, and was able to heat the space.
Wow.
Well, this space wasn't as critical.
Is it a flat roof?
Needing the heat. Flat roof.
Really?
Kind of a slight curve to it, it was high in the middle, and they had drains on the front and back of store.
What diameter pipe was it?
It had to have been 2.5.
Holy
It was
crap. And it's picking it right up.
big main with 1 inch, branches. And it only broke at the smaller diameters right up next to the units, but I got a call. Did you, I'm like, yeah, everything was fine, but of course it wasn't. The wind wasn't blowing that day, so I think they got it worked out. I kind of was like,
Sounds like you need those earthquake things in there that like slam it shut or something.
yeah, or you need to drill down right into the deck of the building and then flash it in with
Yeah.
some sort of bracket that's going to hold that down. But I
Using the
started
wa-
second guessing myself. Did I
Yeah.
did I do, I
Even the
was
ones that used
unaware.
to, they
I was
move.
yeah. These ones hopped.
That's different, but they'll move. Period.
No, I've seen a couple move. In Washington, PA, it's very, very windy up there. And they've got a gas line. This stuff's pressed together. I don't know what kind of gas line tool it is that you press the couplings and elbows on. If you guys know, inform me. But theirs is, you can see where they laid it out straight, but now it's kind of got a big bow in it. Uh-oh.
I'm telling you,
I'm
water
hiding.
does. A little bit of rainwater just tears these. There's just no good way to secure them unless, like
Yeah.
you said, you go down and you
Under the
under the roof and secure to the decking.
yeah.
They just move. I've seen them try to silicone them
Mega press. Yeah.
and keep them straight, whatever. But water is a great force.
Oh,
And it's
no
going to
doubt.
move whatever it wants.
Yep.
Crazy. I've never heard of that. That's kind of crazy, especially the weight of that 2-inch pipe. That ain't light stuff.
No.
It's amazing. I've seen the mains come in on the buildings, and it's like 3 or 4 inch black iron welded, and you'll see the.
Am I the only one not frozen?
I'm not froze.
Yeah, I'm not either. But you'll see the support underneath of it, and it'll actually somehow it is turned sideways, and they use cheap support sometimes, and the pipe's sitting on it still, but it's not sitting on the unistrut that was on top of it. It is turned sideways, and it's sitting on the foam that was underneath of it. It's like, I don't even know how this happened.
Yeah.
It looks like it's working okay from here.
No, it did. Maybe it was on my end real quick. But Steve, how was the? Did you go to the Kentucky Derby?
I didn't go to the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, okay.
So they
But
shut
you're
the
down
plant.
there in Kentucky.
Absolutely. No, we do it right. Typically, honestly, this time of year it's nice and mild, so I took Friday off, and I usually do take Friday, which is Oaks Day. So we do Oaks on Friday. A lot of times the locals will go down to the track on Thursday, which they call Thurby, and
Okay.
Saturday is Derby. And I spent all day. I got an Oaks and a Derby program, and I spent all day Friday and Saturday betting, just blowing some money.
So you do a little gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was with a very serious face. That means he's rolling some bank. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
No, I'm not that good at it.
Oh yeah.
I wish I was.
All day.
I understand, and when I can open a program and understand and look at and you guys may not. I don't know if y'all have ever looked at a program before, but I bet horses for years because I grew up around this. And,
Sure.
I live in Louisville, but I can look at the program and understand and see everything, and know who the horse's mom and dad was, and the last time they ran, and how long they ran, and how fast they are, and this and that. But it doesn't seem to work. I'm just, it sometimes it's almost better just picking a name. Hey, I like that name. I'm gonna pick that.
Sure. That'd be the way
Nice.
I'd do it. But we have a racino here in the Youngstown area, and we've gone over there. I've placed a couple bets, and I just did it on the name.
Yeah.
I didn't never won anything, but that's pretty
It's-
cool. Did
No,
you
I mean,
have
it's-
your fancy hat on or anything like that?
No, I mean
For the-
we've done some of that. I've been down to the track before because
Yeah.
we lived just a few miles previously. We weren't that far, but we've done the whole hat and thing. But most of the time, Derby is outsiders, and it's a lot of people coming in. It's just It's almost a night. It's almost a night. It's a show, and it's a nightmare for the locals. I mean, there's just too many people. I'm not a terrible people person, anyways. So
I saw Tom Brady. Tom
this year
Brady
was less. I mean, they only had. Yeah, they had. It was like half capacity because of the whole COVID thing. So there was about 51,000 there.
Yeah.
You know, at a place that can hold 170 something if they needed to. So I mean, it was much less capacity, but it really helped the city out. I mean, it's been good. It's been good for the city and getting people downtown and moving around and doing stuff.
I saw a meme of Tom Brady at the Kentucky Derby. It said it looked like he was about to kill Roger Rabbit and take over Toontown.
In the black hat, I saw that too. Yeah.
Ryan Weaver was asking if you ever tripped over the gas lines on the roof. I think I have once or twice.
Oh, yeah.
Said he almost put his face through
I've tripped over some gas lines in the winter for sure. Yeah, a lot of places will put those orange indicator. You know, you see people put them on the side of their driveway. They'll put them up on the roof in the drains and stuff like that. But we get substantial amount of snow here in the winter, and you just gotta kind of, truck through it.
Yeah, you're what you don't know what you're stepping on. You gotta be careful.
Yep.
I mean, some of the buildings that if they have skylights, then we can't go on those roofs.
Oh, I had an account where it was a pitched roof with it was a skylight, but it was like that corrugated.
They had some metal over top of it.
No, it was just they had a regular corrugated pitched. No, it might have been a flat roof, but all I can remember was it was like the corrugated plastic see-through stuff.
Yeah.
And I got sent up there. Luckily, there was no snow, but I was like, you would never be able to tell that there was a skylight there. I said, you can't send anybody here in the winter because somebody is going to walk right on that and plummet to their death. And my boss was like, oh, really? And I'm like, dude, really? I won't go there. And I don't suggest you send anybody else there in the winter because it was a major hazard.
I mean, I did the video I did after the ice storm that we had down here. Yeah. But I went up on that roof. I noted that there were no skylights on that roof. But first of all, I went inside and I looked just to make sure what they had, just to see what I could see from below. But then because I had never been on the roof before, and then I went up and I could tell that it was a safe roof. It wasn't metal and there weren't any skylights, but something you have to be aware of because if you step on those skylights, you will go through.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
In this particular store I was at, I might not be saying what it is correctly, but it's that corrugated. It was like
what you're talking about.
See-through material. Yeah. And I'm thinking there's no indicator here as to where it is. And once you get snow on this, somebody's just going to be walking around with their 50-pound tool bag and whatever they weigh, and they're going to walk right through it. And
they're going to be 30 feet down. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be careful where, I mean, that's one of the things that it's, we don't talk about it a whole lot, but you got to be careful with what you're doing and you got to know what you're doing. Like if you don't feel safe somewhere, don't go there. Or if you're unsure of anything, because stuff like that, and there's less and less of them. There's not too many out there, but a lot of the ones that we see now, those metal roofs that have the skylights, they'll have metal, like a protective metal,
some sort of curb around
it, over top of that skylight. So if you can step on it still, and you're not going to go through it.
Yeah, well, these
ones I've seen have been down below the skylight, so you're breaking the plastic first, then you're gonna crack yourself on the freaking metal bars. Looks like concrete bars, whatever you want to call it, the reinforcement bars.
Burglar bars.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they're using. Yeah, I'm trying to think of it stuff. So we're coming on in an hour and 20 minutes. You guys want to wrap her up here, or what do you want to do?
Let's go another hour and 20 minutes.
Well, might as well go for two then.
You guys have a good one. I'm out.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of noticed it's dropped down a little bit to 39 areas. So they're starting to get tired.
Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.
I'm hopping on Instagram tomorrow. I'm doing something. I'm posting a picture or something. So
do something. Go check my Instagram out. See what I've been putting on there.
I'm gonna.
Just
anyway, Rick, thanks for having me on again.
Oh, absolutely, guys. I'm glad you wanted to do it because I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm whatever. You make it easy. That's the whole thing. I want to make it easy as possible because otherwise, when she don't want to do it, I kind of like, you know, I'm like, whatever. Because I sometimes feel like I'm doing too much to the point where it's like you're doing it and it's no excitement for people to be there. And that's what I'm kind of afraid that, you know, you do too much and then they don't come. So I've kind of wondered. That's why
we had a good conversation tonight. We talked longer than usual. I mean, it depends on what's going on. Last week was a little slow and we were all kind of tired and like, man, but you know, no, it's cool.
Yeah, cool. That's good then. That's what I want. So as long as the people out there like it and stuff like that, then that's cool. That's what I'm looking for. So
thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep.
Hit
Make
that
sure you
thumbs
guys
up.
smack the thumbs up button there, and we will see you guys on the next one. So we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let me find my little fancy button here. She likes using that stream or that little thingamajig on whatever thing. Where's that little button? There it is. Stop video. Cool. All right. So thanks again, guys, for coming in. I appreciate it. All my viewers out there, thank you. Make sure you check out everything HVACR and Hughesman. They should be down in the video link down below. If it's not, I'll put it in here in a little bit. Right now, it may not be in there. So, all right, guys, let's wrap her up. Flush this turd. Till next time, guys, we will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I want to see motion, movement. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay?
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.